Jai Gurudev, dear students, welcome in this science class. So children, we were studied in the last class about the animals as source of food, in which I taught you about the products we get from animals as food. First was the honey. I explained you about honey, that is a kind of nectar which is collected by the honey bees from different flowers. Okay, and honey bees can convert it into a sweet juicy substance, that is honey. So this honey is consumed by humans by various ways. It is a good remedy for cold and cough also, and it is a nutritious food which we get from honey hive. So children, after this I explained you about milk, which is the second animal product, and milk we get from various animals, just like here they have mentioned cow, buffalo, camel, goat, means various parts of our country. According to the availability of various animals, people used to have milk of various animals. So under this we have studied about the various products which we prepare from the milk, like butter, ghee, curd, and even cheese also, paneer. These all are the products of milk which we directly get from milk. Okay, and other so many preparations are also there, like ice creams, chocolates, so many sweets in which we use milk. So children, after this one, now our next topic is about the food habits of animals. Okay, so what are the food habits of animals? You know, some of the animals, they feed on plant products only, so they are coming under different category. According to their feeding habits, we have classified the animals into different categories. So let's study one by one. They have, on the basis of their feeding habits, they divided the animals into three major groups. What are the three major groups? First is herbivores, second carnivores, and third are the omnivores. So children, what are the herbivores? Herbivores are the animals that only eat plants or grass as their food. Okay, so under this you can take example of cow, horse, deer, squirrel, even large animals like elephant, hippopotamus. Okay, these all are herbivorous animals, and they have special type of teeth. Their teeth are blunt and wide, means their teeth are broad, blunt and wide. Why? For pulling off plants from the ground and for chewing, because if sharp teeth are there, then they can't pull the plant from the ground, and they don't help them to chew the food properly. So that's why their teeth are according to their food habits. So these are the herbivorous animals. And next category is carnivores. Okay, so what are the carnivores? Carnivores are the animals that only eat flesh of other animals. Animals such as tiger, lion, wolves, and snakes are examples of carnivorous animals. Birds such as eagle, kite, and peacocks are also eat flesh. So carnivores have sharp teeth and claws to tear off the flesh of the animals. So children, we have seen in case of herbivores also they have special teeth, and in this case also, because carnivore they kill the other animal and then they feed on the flesh of other animals. So that's why their teeth are sharp teeth. Okay, and even in case of some birds they have sharp claws also, so that they can hold the animal properly with the proper grip, which help them also to tear the flesh of animals. Okay, so what are the animals? Here you can see leopard, tiger. Okay, and after that they have given here example lion, tiger, snakes. These all are carnivorous animals. And in the category of birds, you can take example of eagle, kite, and peacocks. Okay, so after this, next third category or third major group according to the feeding habits is omnivores. So what are the omnivores? Omnivores are the animals that eat both plants and flesh of other animals. Means they are the combination of herbivores as well as carnivores. Means whatever feed is taken by the herbivores as well as carnivores, they are eaten up by the omnivores. Means omnivores are those animals which eat plant as well as animal products both. So what kind of animals are coming under this category? You can see here cockroaches, bears, crow, even monkey, and human beings also. Okay, so all these animals which I just now I have told you, and you can see the picture in your book of these animals, they all are omnivores. Means they used to eat the plant products also as well as animals products also. Okay, so what type of teeth they have, that you can see here. Omnivores have different types of teeth so that they can eat both plants and animals. Omnivorous birds have pointed beak that help them to eat insects, seeds, and fruits. So children, you can take example of your teeth also. You also have 4 type of teeth which we have already studied in the previous classes, like incisors, canines, premolars, and molars, that you have studied in the junior classes. So different type of teeth of omnivores help the person to eat both the plants and animal products. Okay, so that's why omnivores have different type of teeth. So after this, these are the three main major groups which they have classified on the basis of feeding habits. Like first is herbivores, second carnivores, and third omnivores. Okay, and after this, children, some more terms they have mentioned here, like decomposers, scavengers, and parasites. So what are these? Here they have written a question: what happens to plants or animals when they die? So what is the answer of this question? Dead plants and animals are decomposed by scavengers and decomposers. So children, about the dead plants, we can say that dead part of the plants also, like leaves, small twigs, when fall from the trees, and they mix with the soil, and ultimately they are decomposed by the help of some small tiny creatures which are called decomposers. Okay, so after this, let's we talk about the animals also. Animals, when animals die, some of the other animals, they eat up the flesh of those animals, dead animals, but some remains of those animals also left in the soil on the ground, which are also decomposed by some other decomposers. Okay, and after that, scavengers are those animals which feed on the dead body of animals, means they are called as cleaners of our earth also. So here about scavengers, they have written here, there are some carnivorous and omnivorous animals and birds like vultures and hyenas that depend on the flesh of dead animals. They are known as scavengers. They help us in maintaining our surrounding free of dead animals. So children, see the picture of hyena. This animal is hyena and this is vulture, and even eagles also. If any dead animal is lying on the ground, these kind of animals, they eat up the flesh of dead animals, and with the help of this they can maintain our surrounding clean. Otherwise, if dead bodies of animals will stay on the ground, they can spread many diseases, and foul smell can also spread from that part of the earth. So scavengers are also called cleaners of the earth. And next are the decomposers. What are decomposers? Some parts of the body of the dead animals remain even after the scavengers have eaten them. These parts are broken into smaller basic components by decomposers. So what are the decomposers? Bacteria, fungi, and earthworms are decomposers. So children, decomposers are those small creatures, or we can say living things, which convert the broken down part of, or we can say leftover part of, the dead animals, or and even plants also. They broken down those parts into very smaller components, very smaller and simpler components, which can be easily mix up with the soil and provide nutrient to the soil. Okay, so their decomposers are bacteria. Some kind of bacteria also act as decomposers, even fungi also, and earthworms also called as decomposers, because they all can convert the smaller dead remains of plants and animals into smaller particles or smaller components which provide nutrient to the soil. So children, after this, next are the parasites. So under that decomposer category, they have shown here fungi, mushroom, like this umbrella shaped structure. This is mushroom, which is coming under the category of fungi, and these are the bacterias. Okay, picture of bacterias. So next are the parasites. So what are the parasites? Parasites are plants or animals that live on or inside the other living beings and get their food from them. Means these are the kind of plants or animals which get prepared food from other living being. Okay, some of the plants are also act as parasites, and some of the animals are also act as parasite, but they get the prepared food from other living organism. Okay, if animal is there, animal can get prepared food from the other animal or human being, and if plant is there, it can grow on the another plant. So what are the different examples of parasites? Leeches, mosquitoes, lice, and bed bugs are some examples of animal parasites. They suck blood from the body of the host, means on which body it grows, they are called host. Just like mosquito bite to human beings, so human beings are the host for mosquitoes. So roundworms and tapeworms are parasites that live in the intestine of other animals and depend on their digested food. Here it is misprint is there, so here it is food. Okay, this word food should be here. I was finding the paragraph, which paragraph is the next one, but in next paragraph it is not written, it is written here only. Okay, so roundworms and tapeworms. These are the two kind of endoparasites, means these are the parasites which live in the intestine of human beings. Okay, so these are the roundworms and they are the tapeworms. Understood? So children, generally these worms are found in the intestine of small kids, small children. Okay, they are very common in case of small children. So they are called parasites, and they take the prepared food, they get the prepared food or digested food directly from our intestine without any effort. Okay, and we feel hungry again and again, and for their prolonged infection, we may get some serious diseases. Okay, so that's why we should not ignore these problems. If roundworms or tapeworms are there in anybody's stomach, or we can say intestine, we should immediately treat them and go to doctor and take advice from him. So children, these are about the parasites. So last topic of this chapter is food chain. So what is food chain? Plants grow using the sun's energy. Children, that you should know that ultimate source of energy is sun. So all the plants which prepare their food by the use of sun's energy, and nutrient from the soil, they get nutrient from the soil. Animals depend on plants or other animals for food. So this interdependence of various animal organisms on each other for food forms a food chain. So children, these we can say what is a food chain. In a sequential way, if we write the sequence of food they taken from different plant or animals, then we can make a chain like structure. Just like here they have mentioned here that plants prepare food by the use of sun's energy, and plants are eaten up by rabbit, and rabbit is again eaten up by the fox, and fox, after the death of fox, the dead body of or we can say flesh of the fox is taken up by vulture, and vulture body is decomposed by the bacteria, and after bacteria, when the small remains of this vulture is converted into simpler substances, when mixed in the soil, they provide nutrient to the soil, and that nutrients are absorbed by the plants again. So this is a chain form which is called a food chain. Means what are the interdependence of various organisms. In food chain, what we study? The interdependence means how one organism depend on other organism. So here they explained this food chain. Rabbit eats plants, fox eats rabbit. When fox dies, vulture eats fox dead body, and finally the remains of are decomposed by the bacteria and nutrients are absorbed by the plants. Soil, which is again used by the plants. So in a food chain we can see how all the living organisms obtain their food. Our food chain help us to understand how energy is being transferred from one living organism to another. So children, this is about the food chain. Here so many examples of food chain they have given here. You can see here every food chain starts from the plants. Okay, so plants are eaten up by this rabbit, rabbit is eaten up by this fox, and fox is eaten up by eagle, and eagle will be decomposed by the bacteria. Okay, so here also so many food chains are given according to the different areas. Like in grassland you can see grasses are taken up by the deer and deer is eaten up by this lion. And in case of sea also you can see the algae, which are the small plants, they are taken up as a food material by small fishes. Small fishes are eaten up by the large fish. And in case of desert area you can see the grass is eaten up by the rats, and rat is eaten up by snakes, and snakes are again eaten up by the vulture. In the forest area also the same kind of food chain you can see. Squirrel feed on plants and owl feed on squirrel. So these are the some kind of food chain on the basis of different areas. And if so many food chains we interconnect to each other, then we can say that it is a food web. Web means a network. So here you can see the network. Means this is a one food chain, this is another food chain, and this is the third one, it is fourth one, but all are interconnected to each other. Like this plant is prepared food by the use of energy of sun, and this plant is eaten up by the rabbit also, and rabbit can be eaten up by this fox, or rabbit can be eaten up by this tiger also. Okay, and this plant can also be taken up by different animals. Grasshopper can also be the feed on this plant, and this grasshopper can be eaten up by the bird, and bird can be eaten up by this fox or by this vulture. Okay, so in this way so many food chains, when interconnected to each other in this way, when we show, then we can say it is a food web. Okay, so this is the definition of food web. Each living being is a part of multiple food chains. All the interconnected and overlapping food chains in a habitat make a food web. So this is a food web. So children, with this I conclude my class. So in the next time, in the next class, I'll explain you about the exercise part of this chapter, and we will complete the question answers also in the next class. So Jai Gurudev to all of you.